Hi, Matt, the etrailer. If you plan on carrying a couple different trailers with your 2024 Toyota Sienna and you want to make sure it's going to work in all those situations, but you want something that's pretty affordable, then the etrailer adjustable ball mount is going to be a great option for you. And the reason why I say this is great for a variety of different trailers is because you can adjust it over time. So you just have two pin and clips on here, and if we remove those, then that's going to allow me to either raise or lower this if need be, or I could even flip the balls around, because we're going to have two different types of balls. This one I have on top right now, that's going to be our 2 5/16 inch ball, and the one below that's going to be our 2-inch ball. So this will work with different couplers as well. We do need to make sure that this is going to work with our vehicle. So the first thing you need to check is your receiver. This is going to work with 2-inch receivers. And then we need to check the weight capacity that it's going to be able to handle our trailers. So it's going to have two different weight capacities. For the larger ball, the 2 5/16, that's going to be rated for 10,000 pounds for your towing and 1,000 pounds for the tongue weight. And for the smaller ball, that's going to be rated for 7,500 pounds for towing and 750 for tongue. And really what the difference there is the towing capacity is what's in your trailer and is being pulled behind you. Your tongue weight is going to be the downward force on the ball itself. That being said, it is important to check what your vehicle is rated for and your hitch, just so you don't overload it and damage something. So I'd recommend going from the lowest rated component. And this will have a max rise of 6 inches, so that's going to be pretty high, but you can also adjust this in 1.5 increments, so we'll work with a lot of different trailer sizes. Now we could flip this over typically, but once I remove this pin and clip, you're going to notice, if I try to do that, we're not going to have any room at all. Even if I could get this in here and have this ball at a higher point, if we put anything on this ball mount, that would put some additional weight and would most likely would make ground contact with the housing. With it out, you'll notice this does have a hollow shank, and that's pretty nice. The reason I say that is because it's going to allow you to use some anti-rattle devices. And why that's important is when I put this in my receiver, you're going to notice there's a lot of wiggle here. Even when I put this pin back in, that's going to move quite a bit. And that's not great, because if it is moving that much, it could eventually scratch something up, which could lead to rusting or corrosion over time. So having an anti-rattle device in here is going to reduce that, making sure this is more stable. And since we're talking a little bit about scratching and scuffing, let's talk about the material. So this is going to be made of steel, and the ball mount is going to have this black nickel plating on it. I'm actually a fan of this because I just like the look of it a little bit more than a chrome finish. And if you have any scratching that happens, it's going to be less noticeable. Like right here in the very front of it, you can notice we do have some scuffing. That's because someone used this without using any ball grease. So that's going to be unavoidable if you do that. Now, I will say the other side, someone tested this out, and they got a lot of the finish to come off. And here, you can see a little bit more of that finish underneath, and this is actually going to have 2 layers to it. So even if that top layer comes off, you're going to have this additional layer here to help protect everything, to make sure it doesn't rust over time. As for the housing, this is going to be made of steel and is going to have a black powder coat finish to it with an E-coat underneath that. So those together are just going to make this really weather resistant, making sure this ball mount lasts a long time. Let's get a few measurements just to see how this is going to sit back here. So the first one I'm going to get is going to be the distance from the center of our hitch pin hole to the center of this ball, which is going to be 9 inches. That's important for a few reasons. The first one is for hooking up. That's going to let you know how far away your coupler is from your back bumper. This is plenty of room right here, so you shouldn't make contact or scratch anything up. I'd still recommend having a friend back here, just make sure they can keep an eye on it. The second one is going to let you know how far away your trailer is from the back of your vehicle. Now for our ground clearance, I'm actually going to go from the housing right here. And this is going to be about 8 inches, which is pretty decent. I wouldn't recommend going below that because you can adjust this ball to be at a lower point. If you do, just make sure you keep an eye on it because when you have a trailer, that's going to apply some more downward force and it's going to drop by maybe an inch or two. So if you're going up any steep inclines, anything like a driveway, just be mindful of it. In my opinion, I think this is a solid choice for the Sienna for a few reasons. Like I said earlier, this is going to be a very affordable option. It's going to work with a lot of different trailers. And personally, anything more than this, more heavy duty, might not be necessary because that's going to be more than what your Sienna can probably handle anyways. Now, if you're only carrying one trailer behind you and you're only towing with this, then I'd recommend something more of a just regular ball mount with a rise. If you know exactly what your rise is, we have plenty of options to accommodate that. I know eTrailer has a few options as well. But if you're looking at adjustable ball mounts, you're probably planning to carry a few different trailers. So I think this would be one of my top picks. But that was just a look at some of the features of the eTrailer adjustable ball mount on our 2024 Toyota Sienna. I'm Matt. Thanks for watching.